What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Value TV show. I am Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. This is the show where we give you tools to build and have healthy relationships. Tools to build and have healthy relationships. But today, like I told you guys, periodically I have episodes where my guests come on and they ask me several questions centered around relationships. Today, I have the international most beautiful model in the world.
Come on now.
Miss Najma.
Yes. That's model, actress, and fitness instructor. Hi guys, I'm excited to be here and I have some juicy questions.
So what's going on with you?
So lately, I just wrapped filming a project that I'm very excited for. I believe that's going to be dropping in August, so stay tuned for that. I launched my own dance fitness class in Atlanta for the ladies, so that's been successful. I'm on class number 5. And just growing that community has been amazing. So that's been one of my main focuses. And then of course, doing my modeling gigs as well. So your girl been busy.
Okay.
Yes.
Now acting, you got any TV series, movies, something?
Yeah, so a lot of the projects I've done have been like local projects, indie films, short films. But as far as like major bookings, look, cross your fingers for me, guys.
Yeah.
Because I would love to land a major TV role, like a recurring role on a TV series. That's my goal. So put some positive vibes in for me.
Hey, it's gonna happen. We already spoke.
Exactly.
I saw you on Country Wayne.
Yup.
Yeah, I was watching, because I know he does the skits, and I was watching one of the skits, and I'm like, hold on, what's going on here?
So I've actually done 2 skits with Country Wayne. He's very fun to work with, amazing energy, hilarious, obviously, but yeah, I got to work with him twice.
Nice. What's up with you and Boo Boo?
Oh, we good. We going steady. He at home right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We're good.
Sultan.
You remember?
Yes.
And you said it right.
What's up, King Sultan? How you doing over there, man?
What's up, boo?
Holding her down. I like that, brother. So, I know you got a plethora of questions.
Do I? I do.
Let's see what you got here.
Are you ready?
Check this out. Here's what I'm gonna do today too. I'm gonna start doing this on all the episodes. At the end of this, well, towards the end, if you could guess my age, you get $10.
Guess your age. Okay.
So just think about it.
Okay. Alrighty. So my first question is about exes. A lot of people, they try to determine whether or not it's appropriate to still maintain relationships with exes when you enter a new romantic relationship. What's your take on that? Do you think it's okay? Do you think like it's insecure for your partner to not want you to be friends with your exes? What's your take on that whole thing?
I believe when it comes to anything from our past, we really need to be careful of bringing it into our present and into our future. Especially when it's in reference to relationships. Am I saying people should never talk to their ex? It depends on the dynamics of what that was. Because there are people that were, let's use marriage first. There were people that were married. I was married before, divorced. I'm still friends with my ex-wife, her boyfriend. You know, we all get along. My daughter is involved in the equation. My son, I had a son before I was married, and I still communicate with his mom. So the dynamics there is a little different.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're not communicating like we're calling each other on the phone every day. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? It's not that type of communication.
Right.
It's a form of communication that's cordial. You know what I mean? Where how's my daughter doing? You know, things of that nature.
Okay.
Exes in terms of boyfriend, girlfriend. People were in a long-term committed relationship.
Yeah.
The question I would pose before even answering that is, why do I need to stay in communication with them? You know, once again, these individuals may have had a long-term committed relationship and they fell out for whatever reason. They both moved on. One person may have gotten married, somebody may have just moved on and got another committed relationship. To stay in contact with them, it depends on what are you talking about? You know? I'm not saying that if you see the person, you should not speak to the person. No, that's being rude.
Right.
You see them, you know, you're being casual. Hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Now, when it comes to, oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, let's link up and go to remember that place we used to go to where we played basketball? Remember when we used to go out to eat to that restaurant? You know, I'm not busy this weekend. Would you like to join me? And you say, yes. Is there anything wrong with that on the surface level? No, but it's the little things that start to creep in between there.
Yeah.
Because both people may have the great intentions. We're just gonna go out and eat and have a casual bite to eat for the afternoon.
Yeah.
Nothing serious. But then what it starts to do is spark old emotions and mindset and conversations that we were having. And then and if we continue to do that, it can lead to something.
Exactly.
Someone may argue that's listening or watching and saying, that's wrong, I know how to maintain myself. We
Yeah.
all do, but why put yourself in that position for those old emotions to start to stir back up, and now you jeopardize the relationship that you're in?
Exactly.
So my answer is no.
Gotcha.
And my answer is no, depending on the dynamics that I just gave examples of.
Absolutely. Because I definitely understand if you're co-parenting or something of that nature, obviously there needs to be some form of communication, right? But if you I don't understand the obsession with like staying friends with exes. Like, oh, let's just be friends. For what? I feel like when your season in someone's life is over, let it be over,
To some extent, that individual, and I'm not saying all, but some of these individuals that are still wanting to contact exes and keep exes' numbers and letters, and it's still some form of emotional and mental attachment.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying, sometimes we may have gotten cards from an ex years ago and it was beautiful and we got it stored. There may be nothing attached to that, but when we're trying to hold on to something from our past that no longer benefits our present or our future, then it becomes questionable.
Yes.
To what are we doing? Especially when you're in a new committed relationship. Because
Yeah.
here's what it can do. This type of communication should be had between you and your partner. For somebody that's listening or watching, they may say, well, Jamel, I don't agree with that. I understand. But as long, if these two people have communication about it, like, hey, I still periodically talk to my ex. It's nothing serious, but I just talk to him, talk to her. We're still close friends. Now, if you explain that to your partner and they're not in agreement, then you may need to renegotiate how you're doing this. Because if there's no agreement, then it can lead to frustration in your current relationship and not at the expense of something that was in your past.
Right. Absolutely. It's all about communication. Like, if y'all are on the same page and y'all are both cool with it, hey, what can I say? But once you feel like you're doing something that your partner wouldn't be comfortable with, things like that, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I believe you're opening the door for old emotions to stir back up, which could
Definitely.
lead to something else.
Yeah. That was a good answer.
Yeah.
My
Thank
next
you.
question. This is about compromise, which is another huge theme in relationships. Do you think that we should compromise our own happiness, our own comfortability, our own whatever it is for the sake of a relationship? Should I compromise my dream? Should I compromise certain things that I feel I need? Like how far should we go with compromise?
No one should compromise their happiness, their dreams, their desires, their passions, their endeavors, their calling. For those who believe in God, they have a God calling. They should compromise none of these things. No, and if you're in a relationship and somebody wants you to compromise your dreams, your goals, your passions, your desires, your calling, then I would tell you to hurry up and exit. Because I want you to fulfill your dreams. I want you to fulfill your desires, your passion, the calling of God on your life. Because in essence, if we're a team, as you're fulfilling your dreams, it benefits me.
Right.
As I'm fulfilling my dreams, it benefits you. We're complementing each other.
Yeah.
Our purposes are complementing each other. As you succeed, I succeed.
Yeah.
If we have that perspective. If I'm trying to stunt your growth or stagnate you, and there are people in relationships, men and women, where some women feel like, I don't want you to go back to school. I don't want you to go do that entrepreneur endeavor. I don't want you to do that you're always out, you're always this. Or the man saying it to the woman, why you gotta go back and try to get the law degree? It's gonna jeopardize everything we're doing. No, if anything, let's communicate about it. Let's see how we can make this come into fruition, your dreams and your desires.
Yep.
Because when you're fulfilled and you're happy, then I reap the benefits of it. I get those results. I want my woman to be happy.
Exactly. Happy wife, happy life.
That's what they say. But a lot of couples, we struggle or have conflict in that area because one, there's no open communication.
Right.
or we have secret desires that we haven't expressed and we're trying to fulfill them without telling our partner.
Yeah.
But that can stem from maybe not being secure in your relationship. Maybe the man is not making you feel secure enough to express your dreams and desires because maybe somewhere along the way, your dreams and desires, when you express them, they have gotten shot down. So now your security level is very low and you're like, you know what, I want to tell him, but if last time I told him I got rejected, so let me just build it on the side. Or vice versa, it could be the woman, the man feeling that way, you know? But no, you should never compromise your desires, your dreams. One, because we only get one shot at this life.
Yeah.
Now, of course, if it's a dream or a desire or something that's going to jeopardize the relationship, then it becomes questionable.
Right.
You know, but that interpretation is left to that particular couple.
Got you. Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, when one person's winning, if you're really a partnership, both of you are winning. So you definitely want to be with that person who's your cheerleader, who's like, yeah, go do that, you know, wanting to see you win and expand and not being threatened by that. So.
And I always express that when I'm talking to couples that we should be complimenting each other, not competing.
Yes.
The moment you start competing with your partner is the moment you guys start to have a slowly decline in your communication, in your love, in your passion, and then next thing you know, we're both going in opposite directions because I'm trying to look at you like my competitor. No, you're my partner, you're my team member. Think about it, if Jordan was competing against Scottie Pippen and Pippen was competing against Jordan, they would probably win no championship rings. But they always complimented each other.
Yeah.
You know, everybody couldn't be Jordan. Everybody couldn't be Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of a relationship, you may be Scottie Pippen, he may be Jordan, or you may be Jordan, he may be Scottie Pippen.
Right.
But we're gonna work together so we can get the championship ring.
Right. Yeah.
And get more than one ring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Compliment, don't compete. I love that. My next question, as far as our past, so say we're entering into a new romantic relationship, and we all have pasts, things we've done, mistakes we've made, sexual encounters. How much of your past should you disclose to your partner, or should we only tell them if they ask?
Now, I don't believe when people get together, they should just air out all their laundry, you know?
Yeah.
However, if there are things that you know that can impact the relationship and impact the commitment and impact the growth, then I believe you should express it to your partner. And I also believe people should ask questions.
Definitely.
You know, now if they ask the question, I think you should be honest enough to give them the answer.
Right.
I don't think you should say, well, I don't want to tell you that.
Right.
That could leave that person in their mind like, man, why she don't want to tell me that? Why doesn't he want to tell me that? You know?
Yeah.
And there's some things maybe depending, and the setting has to be careful where you're just opening this thing up, you know? You don't want to be on the roller coaster and be like, yeah, you know, I slept with 15 men. Whoa, hold on a second. I don't even know if I want to be at the amusement park no more.
Right. Time and place.
Or the guy, man, hey, pick the setting. Hey, I used to be a whoremonger. Man, right here at the, right at
my birthday. Like,
right at my birthday at the family barbecue, you just gonna drop that on me? Pick the setting.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The environment matters. But then that communication is key. We should express that.
Definitely.
We should definitely express that if it's something that can impact the growth of the relationship.
So what would you say are those things that could impact the growth versus things that can kind of be forgotten?
I mean, you may have little things like, oh, you know, that probably aren't that big of an impact. Let's go with those first. Hey, when I was little, I used to cut class and I used to cut school.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's going to be detrimental to the relationship.
Right.
But things such as, hey, when I grew up, I had a relative that used to touch me all the time.
Yeah.
And it made me feel horrible. We need to talk about that.
Definitely.
Because that's something that could impact the growth of the relationship, especially when it comes to you guys being intimate, whether it was the man or the woman.
Exactly.
You go to touch him and he's like, oh, or he goes to touch you and you're like, no. And you're like, what's going on? It's nothing.
Right.
No, that's something we need to talk about. I need to know what that is. Because when you tell me, then that gives me definition of what happened to you. And now I know how to handle you, or I know how to seek some type of counsel or wisdom so we can address this together.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
that's a huge one. Most people typically talk about sexual partners of the past, you know.
Right.
How many guys were you with? How many women were you with? Those questions come up.
Yeah. And why do you think that's important to people? Especially men. I feel like men are more focused on women's bodies than women are with men. And why is that?
I think it's the culture and the society that we live in. Some men, let me not say all men, for those that are watching and those that are listening, some men like to use this count or this amount of men that women have been with as a manipulative tool against this woman to break her down. Oh, you've been, but also, see, here's the thing. I don't agree with that culture or that society because both parties have done some things.
Right.
So we both are staring in the mirror at ourselves. I don't think men should condemn women for being with however many partners she's been with. Now that she's with you, she's a new person. And vice versa. I don't think the woman should condemn the man for whatever he's been. Now here's the thing, we have a choice though.
Oof.
So once you hear that, hopefully you hear it before you guys get to that point.
Right.
And once you know that, now it's up to you, it's up to him or her to make a decision. It doesn't make that person a bad person. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
But it's up to you now to make a decision. Do I want to move forward with this person? Because now you have to understand however many people the parties have been with, those were attachments.
Right.
Is that person completely healed and set free from whatever that was?
Yeah.
All of the engagements or the entanglements.
Right.
You know, but that's your choice. Once again, I say it, and I want to be clear to those watching, it doesn't make you a bad person, but it is up to that person you're in a relationship with to make the decision.
Absolutely.
This is why these conversations and these type of questions need to be asked before we go 5 months, 6 months, a year in. But because then it's difficult. Okay. Then it's difficult. Then it's difficult to have the conversation.
Oof.
I was wondering where this word was going to come into play. Well, these two words, but I was in meditation this morning and I was like, okay, I was just meditating and this word came, reverse engineer. And I believe it fits this point right here in the conversation. And I say this sober because the word reverse engineer is basically to disassemble or examine something, a product or a device, so you can make a duplicate basically.
Yeah.
And what we have in our society is men and women, but I want to speak to the women. Women have so much power, but I think a lot of women don't have great examples to look up to. So what happens is they end up becoming duplicates.
Oof.
They become reverse engineered by society, by media, by music, whatever that thing is that they're viewing constantly and hearing constantly that doesn't uphold the standard of a real powerful woman. So you become reverse engineered. You become something that you're not even designed to be. You're not even no longer even you.
Right.
You are a duplicate of society's norm.
Yeah. Oof.
And society's norm these days
huge.
of some women is get that bag. You don't need no man.
Exactly.
Be independent.
Yep.
All men ain't ish. I don't need no relationship. I'm gonna be on my own. No,
Speak on it.
that's not how God designed us.
Yeah.
He designed us in his image and his likeness, which is a powerful woman, an incubator, a person who births vision and fulfills dreams and stands in a position to be a helpmate to her man, not a doormat. So
Exactly.
society is reverse engineering that. That's what it's doing to a lot of women. So they're becoming duplicates. There's no originality. We need to get back to the original blueprint. And when it takes women connecting with other powerful women.
Yes.
And I'm not saying flawless women. I'm just saying women who have set standards and they're seasoned and they walk through some things. And those are the ones we should cling to and surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
And this happens to men as well. There's this reverse engineering. And we all can fall victim to it if we're not being aware and being keen.
Yeah.
And using our discernment, like, hold on, what's happening? You ever just be going through life sometimes and you wake up one day and you're just going through life and you're like, hold on. And you find yourself doing things and acting a certain way and talking a certain way. And then you're like, hold on a second, this isn't me.
Yes. Where did I pick this up?
What's going on with me?
Yeah.
Why am I making these type of choices? It's because the society I've been consuming or the environment I've been surrounding myself with is reverse engineering me into something that I'm not even, it studies me though.
Yeah.
You know social media, it studies you. The enemy, let's use that because I know we live in a society now where, oh, that doesn't exist. No, there is an enemy, there is a spirit, there are demons that study, they assign like, I'm gonna study her, I'm gonna study him, I'm gonna study your relationship since we're talking about relationships and questions. They're studying it to see, okay, how can I reverse engineer Naj?
Yeah.
How can I get her to be something else that I want her to be versus what God wants her to be and how God sees her as this amazing daughter. And so women should be careful and should be mindful and should ask questions.
Definitely.
Men as well, ask questions. So then it allows you to see, who am I engaging myself with? Is this person sent to assist me, help me, birth my dreams, my passions, my desires, my calling? Or are they a deception disguised as the angel of light to reverse engineer me into something I wasn't called to be?
Oof. Wow. That's a lot to take in and to process. And that's a whole separate conversation, just the way that women are like taught to go about dating these days. You know what I'm saying? Get the bag, forget him, I don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a whole nother topic, but I do want to know, how does it feel to be a man in a world where women are just looking for the bag? Or like, you know what I'm saying? You're not valuable if you don't make this money, or you're not valuable if you can't take me on a trip. You know what I'm saying? How does it feel to be a man in that kind of environment?
It doesn't really bother me because I can see through it.
Yeah.
You know, I get my insight and wisdom from the creator of life, from God. So I ask him, and one, I don't have to worry about that right now. I got a fiance,
Okay,
you know what I mean?
yes.
And it never was something, and not even because I have a powerful lady in my life, but it was something I never worked because that's not me. I'm not even like that.
Yeah.
You know, I say I'm not chasing the bag is chasing me. You know, I know that I'm valuable. God has given me everything that I need. If anybody gives me anything, they're just adding to what he's already given me. He's given me everything in terms of to sustain me in life, food, shelter, clothing.
Yes.
Everything else added to that is just an addition. So therefore, I'm not navigating through life like, oh, how can I? So I always say valuable people attract people of value. So as I begin to add value to my life on a consistent basis, the things of this world don't even attract me like that. I desire to have them, they're nice, but they don't attract me like that. So a woman that's coming with that approach, if I wasn't with someone, you wouldn't have a chance. Because that's not my value system.
Yeah.
Now, see, when people hear me talk like this, then they start, well, you don't want to get no money. No, I want you to be wealthy. I want you to have everything you desire in life. I'm going to have everything I desire in life. I'm just saying I'm not attached to it. I always describe it as fancy dust.
Oh, wow.
Because that's where it all came from. These chairs we're sitting in, that beautiful dress you have on, the mic attached to you, this TV right here, the lighting, the camera. At one point in time, it was dirt. It got formed together, mixed with some other chemicals and everything, and now we look and go, oh, wow, look at this chair, look at that TV.
Right.
Look at her, oh, look at her. I came from dirt, was once nothing. So this is just fancy dust. I appreciate it, but when I look at it, it's just fancy dust. And you know.
Oof. We're going there today.
Listen, okay. I love you guys. I love all of you. You want to do this guess?
The guess? I have one more question.
Oh, shoot for it. Let's go.
So my last question, this is for my fellow ladies, a lot of friends I have, they're trying to navigate the dating world. How can you tell right away or pretty soon after you meet a man that he's worthy of pursuing as a lifelong partner? Like, what are the signs that he's like marriage ready, the signs that he's like just that type of man? Because a lot of women get confused. You know, he might tell you some nice things, whatever, but that doesn't mean he wants to spend his life with you. So what does that look like for the ladies who are in the dating market and trying to navigate?
I like to say this because this came in my time of meditation one day too, and this was for me. And I want to say this: everything that I'm saying to you guys also applies to me.
Yeah.
Certain questions, not all of them, but the light is just as much as a distraction as the dark. And I'm going somewhere with this, because oftentimes we see darkness and we automatically say that's negative. That's easy to identify.
Yeah.
But God said, Jamel, the light is just as much as a distraction as the darkness, because it says the enemy can disguise himself as an angel of light. So to your question, one, we have to understand what discernment is, like that gut intuition.
Yeah.
And mark that down when we get those gut intuitions or discerning moments when we're meeting this gentleman or this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then when we have it, we can write that, okay, that right there was a little off right there. Ask the right questions.
Yes.
I always say a woman that's walking in her being or her purpose or has a level of awareness of who she is can ask questions to a guy, and if he's walking in that same path, then he'll be able to answer some of these questions. And when he can't, that's another thing you should be able to write down.
Yes.
Questions like, what do you see in me? Because most men can only tell you what they see on you.
Yes.
Your external features.
Yeah.
What do you see in me? Well, what do you mean? You give definition to that. What do
Yeah.
you see in me? You know?
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, when I'm walking in my being and my purpose and have a self-awareness of who I am, and you ask that question, I can give you an answer of what I see in you based on the time that I'm spending with you and the conversations that we're having. Because
Yeah.
I'm listening intently to what you're saying. I'm not just listening, I'm not just hearing you and then looking at your body.
Right.
Right. Word up. Okay. Yeah. And then you come out. What do you see in me? Huh?
Oh my goodness.
Not,
Yeah.
and for men that are watching, I'm not talking about all men. For y'all,
You know how
whatever.
they like to do.
I love you guys. Yeah, but in that discernment, asking those questions.
Yes.
Because that discernment allow you to see this is light, but it's not healthy light. It's a disguise.
Yeah.
Because I know some women have been hurt by disguises. Like, oh no, it was 2-3 months, he was all this, and then by month 7th, I don't know what this was.
Yeah. You hear that all the time.
Having that discernment, asking those questions, and then find out if this man has anybody to hold him accountable. Not one of his homeboys. I'm talking about a man that speaks life into this man, speaks life. And you know, and you heard him talk about this other man. You know?
Got you. Oh wow. That's
And
a good one.
this is something that does not happen overnight. This is why those questions should be intentional.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, once again, once you sit down, shoot off a round with all these questions.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the line, ask these questions, use your discernment, find out about this accountability,
Yeah.
and then move forward. And then know what you want. Some women that are out on the scene dating, they don't know what they want.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we were talking about previously. You have been reverse engineered into society. Now society has formed your mindset, and you're picking what society wants you to want,
Exactly.
not
Oh
what
my
you
goodness.
need.
Yes.
Now, don't go for what you want.
Ooh.
Know what you want, but also know what you need, because it's in your needs that your wants get met.
Yes. Yeah. And also have an understanding of what you bring to the table, have an understanding of, because I don't want to get into this whole level of conversation, but it's like you have to also understand your own shortcomings so that you can be able to forgive someone else's. I feel like sometimes women also have trouble because they have like these standards that, once again, society tells us to have. He needs to be, you know, an entrepreneur, no 9-to-5er. He needs to be a millionaire. He needs to be able to fly you out. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, let's be let's ground ourselves a little bit and figure out, like you said, what we actually need, because your wants are met in your needs instead of following what people tell you should want. You know what I'm saying? Because that's gonna have you miserable. That's not the common man. That's not, and the guys who do have the money and can drop a dime on a woman like that, that's not the common good man who has your best interest at heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just ground yourself, and like you said, do some soul searching, find out what you actually need.
Yeah.
And stick by it.
Yeah. Women that are in that position, get connected with other powerful women. That's my other answer right there. Get connected with some powerful women. And if you don't know any, tune into the Value TV show all the time, because I have powerful women that come on here asking questions. You can connect with them. I'm serious,
definitely.
man. Yo, Naj.
Whew.
This is good.
This was really good.
This is good. You want to try to give the guess?
How many do I get? Just one?
I'll let you get two.
Two? Okay. My first guess, 36.
Man. Wow. No.
Dang, I thought I had it. What? Okay. Whew. Second guess. 39?
Nope.
Yo! Nah, you fake for having me think I was winning. Oh my goodness. So do we get to know?
So I'm gonna tell you guys my age so she can have the correct number on one of my shows one day. Listen, if you're single, dating, and you're married, and you're looking for tools to build and have healthy relationships, tune into the Value TV show.
Yes.
Najma, Jamel Jackson, your relationship mechanic. Peace.
Peace out.